Hello everybody, Jace back for a figure review. I've been really racking my brain trying to do other reviews tonight, but I don't know, my brain's gone tonight. Every time I do it, I end up rambling on to about 25 minutes, and YouTube won't post that. So, I thought I'd do a figure I've actually been wanting to do for a while. And that's my namesake, Sideways. I know what you're automatically going to think, wait a second, that's not Sideways, and you're right. This is his Energon Repaint Rapid Run. But that's only because I've never been able to get my hands on an Armada Sideways. I've got his mini-cons, got it in a job lot, don't know why, but this is the closest I've got to him. Reason I ultra love the character is in Armada, he is the man of mystery. You never know which side Sideways is on. You know, he can be on this side for a minute, then he's on the other side, and then when you finally figure out that his true motivation is that he's working for Unicron, everyone, especially me, I was just sitting here going, yes! It was really, really awesome. He possibly had like he was best written and best dialogue in my opinion, really nicely voice acted as well. In his actual other story bio, the official Hasbro toy description anyway, he's a lot more interesting. You find out he is an actual Cybertronian, and just like Megatron and the Damaged Decepticons in the '86 movie, he has an accident. His shuttle has an accident, and he's left adrift, dying. And Unicron comes across him, and Unicron offers Sideways a very simple deal: I'll rebuild you and give you life again. In return, you must serve me. Sideways agrees because he hasn't really got much choice. Unfortunately, Unicron can rebuild him everything except his mind. And when Sideways realizes Unicron's ultimate goal is to consume the universe, he doesn't take it too well. That's when Unicron has a master plan and creates and gives him his minicon partners. This is them combined in their combined form, which is known as Rider. Give me a nice little look at him. He is really ultra nice little figure. Really nice articulation. He's got arm, no head. It's really nice. And he separates. Pull off his top body. Fold this down. This is his minicon. This is Rook, and this, flip these over, this is Crosswise. Two different minicons. Unicron put these in as control, primarily because, like I said, Unicron couldn't rebuild Sideways' mind, so he's very mentally unstable, and learning on what he's doing has made him even more crazy. Even self-destructive. So Unicron creates these two minicons to stabilize his psyche. One being a Decepticon, which is Rook. When Rook is combines with him to become his headmaster, it brings out Sideways' negative personality. It brings out his darker side, his aggression, his cruelty. Whereas if Crosswise becomes his headmaster, it actually brings out more of his compassion. He will do things for other people. He would save other people's life. And the reason it gives Unicron a form of control is because without these, his two sides of his personality merge in his actual head, and he literally goes insane. He can't cope with that. He's actually afraid of it at the moment. So like I said, it gives you some sympathy for the guy. He's not doing this, but he hasn't really got a choice. Without it, he'd just destroy himself. Okay, now on to the figure. Sideways is a touring motorcycle, as you can see, and quite a nice motorcycle at that. He's got a sort of like snake head. Well, in this color scheme, he looks more like a bee. He's got his minicon ports on the side, but they don't do anything in this mode. You can see his fists. But as it's an Armada figure, it's actually quite nice. I do like motorcycle transformers in general anyway. to transform him, like any Armada, quite simple, we split the sides apart to reveal the arms. We then take the front section, rotate it around. It's on a ball joint and it will pop off if you're not careful. Next, we will put these over and tab them in. And this guy can get stiff sometimes. One nice little gimmick. Motorcycles, where do you put the wheels? On sideways. They fold round and form his backpack. Now this is the really stiff part, his legs. Legs, just pull them both out. Separate. And the feet tap together from the seat. Rotate the arms down. Just check. And we pull out sideways actual head. And that sideways, being that he's an Armada toy, he's not ultra something to look at. He would look more impressive if it was the actual Armada sideways as opposed to his repaint, because the repaint actually doesn't do the figure much justice. I'm not a big fan of this yellow, but it's still the toy at the end of the day, and you know, that's my policy on repaints. If I can't get the original mold, a repaint's just as good. Like I said, that's his actual head, but that's all you'll see of that. It's got no articulation in it whatsoever. So, boom, there you go. As you see, he's got no call sign, no allegiance. Articulation, his arms won't do a full 360 because they're on an angle. So you'll have to pivot them a bit if you want to get some 360 action going. They will go out fully to the side. They will rotate at the elbow, but they won't bend at the elbow. And they also will bend at the wrist. So, arms not really articulate. Plus he's got these huge hoofing cannons. Legs, forwards, back, to the side. No rotation and no knee joint. So articulately, this figure ain't ultra good. But his minicon gimmick is if you put a minicon in there and push down, it will launch his projectiles. They don't fire that well, I will admit. But the main thing is, like I said, he is a headmaster. And a dual headmaster at that. Take Rook. He put his arms up. Split his legs. And his legs up to form his horns. And I'll also show the head scope whilst I'm here. Now this is Rook. And like I said, this is sideways negative personality. This is his Decepticon symbol. And the reason is, I don't know if I'll get this on camera, but you see on how that's blank. Look what happens when I put his head. Yay! We reveal his Decepticon logo. Now he's a Decepticon. And like I said, these heads is what you will keep in there. Because that's what you see on the show. You rarely see sideways actual head in the Armada. I do apologise a bit for my lighting, folks. But that is very, very nice. But let's take Rook out of there. Next, refocus. Take crosswise. Exact same transformation. Arms down. Fold up the eyes. And like I said, this being the Autobot head, I do prefer this head to the Armada minicon crosswise, because blue eyes is sort of like, you know, like Prime eyes. It's very compassionate. You could understand this actually being an Autobot. And again, I shall hold him up. When we put him in, his Autobot symbol comes up. And that is a really nice mechanism. I really do like what they did to this figure by giving him that. I will admit, crosswise doesn't look the nicer of the two heads. You know, for display purposes, I always prefer to give him Rook. You know, it's a lot meaner. Would I recommend this figure to people? At the end of the day, you got to think he is an Armada, so for an Armada, he's actually very, very nice. He's a dual headmaster, which is always a plus, and he was a deluxe, so he was £10 originally. I wouldn't recommend him like I have him as rapid run repaint. I would, if you're gonna get sideways, go for the actual one. He's an Armada figure, so you could probably pick one up for £5-6 off eBay if you really looked around hard. Okay, so this is Side J's and this is Sideways. Oh, Sideways repaint anyway. Saying have a good day, have a good evening, whatever the time it is. Make sure you're having a good one, and I'll see you in another review. Take care.